So, welcome to another High by Sundays. And on this one, we have Ray Heitman, who is going to channel for us. I don't know, maybe there's more than one set of beings that is going to come through. Uh, how how much do we know right now? It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So, Ray's a regular, and we're going to turn the mic and the camera to him.
And I hope that I'm coming through loud and clear because I'm on a borrowed laptop. And but I love this stuff. Thank you, Luis. So we will just move forward with it. Um, I was wondering who I should bring in, but I have been preempted by those little youngsters, so that's who we all get for today. One moment, please. You people are so cool. You get to come and then you wait for us and you're excited to see us. This is a good thing. This is a very good thing. We can't wait for all the people on your planet to do that too. This is one of our surprise gift forums, we will say. Because every time we do it, it's a present that we get to open up, and you guys are inside smiling at us and loving us and being very receptive. It's all appreciated and it really hits home on our end. It's very excited, very exciting. We like that. And this is kind of a game we like to play. Obviously, all you know that. But that's what we call this. We call this playing sessions. And it's a way that we get to help further our studies in ways, but part of that is connecting with you guys in ways that are more serious, we will say, because we want you to know us. And even if you don't know us as individuals, we want you to have a little heart space for us. So when we get there, we already have people who are on our side. Now, I know it's unfathomable for us to imagine that people will not be just thrilled and just excited to see us. But some people don't know. Lots of people don't know. And even some people who know don't yet believe. But boy, their surprise is coming. And this is just a fun thing. And but but yeah, that's the kind of way we look at it. Although it is play, it does have a little serious side. And the watchers and the teachers are pleased too, because the more of these interactions we have, and not with you, but with humans all over the globe. And we haven't really tried to connect with them in space much, but there are some there. But um, but that's kind of the overall plan, and it's going very well. You guys are doing so well, and we are doing very well too, because those are kind of related. So the closer you guys get to enabling open contact, the closer we will get to being readiness. That involves some of our more refined missions, our specific training for where we will be and what we will be doing. And and we will still connect with each other too, and with the ship, because obviously those are important too. And those connections will literally span the globe. That vibrant energy will have little pockets all around your planet. And then once we start connecting, then it will grow out, it will ripple, and people will be talking to each other. And we are building a phenomenon with your help. We are going to be the darlings of the Earth Society. We are already the darlings of many of the extraterrestrials, but they don't refer to us like that because they just see us as loving frequency, and they are so loving too. Oh my gosh. Oh, but you guys just don't know all the love that you have coming to you. It's not just the technology, it's the heart feelings that coming. That's the important thing. That's the most important thing. All of the technology and all of the revisions and upgrading all of your systems and your higher vibrations and getting you into humanity to be ready to be spacefarers. That is all vitally important, but the heart, It's the heart. That is where humans will make the biggest change. And some of you are already there. You already have that open-hearted open heart and acceptance already. And you are touching base with us and you are sending out those positive vibes to uplift those around you. That is a marvelous plan. And we really appreciate all of your help in being with us in this in ways. And the more we get to play with you guys, not only do the more we like it, but the more that others are benefiting from this as well. For there are many beings on our end, and there are beings on your end too, that are participating in this. You might not be aware of them, but yes, they are there. Well, some of you are aware of them. We thank you for that correction, of course. And though you may not know specifically, and some say you maybe, and maybe you do, but that's okay too. Because as long as you are accepting and you know that they're there, they are learning and they are waiting and they're not really waiting like humans do, tick tock, tick tock. They are more in a we don't want to say suspended animation because they're off doing their own things just outside of your world, your physical environments. But but that's okay too. But yeah, it's just we get excited because we know all of that love that's coming. It's like knowing that somebody is going to be just so pleased with the surprise party and all the superb gifts that everyone has that you know they will absolutely love. And everybody just has that open-hearted anticipation of, oh my gosh, we are just celebrating how good it will be now in advance of feeling how good it will be then. And that is a good thing too. That's a good teacher tool. And you guys use that too on your planet. Your masterful teachers teach you to, vibe up and see the end and celebrate and get that feeling and lock it in and let the universe come to you on that attractive magnet that you call beliefs and actions and emotions. So, oh, lessons. Today we were, oh, this is a tough one. We were playing with strings, but not strings like your kite strings or the twine. These are energetic strings, and they all vibrate in different ways, and some of them cross dimensionalities and they can be strummed, but not like individually, like you are talking about, but it takes groups sometimes to coordinate and to make sure that these strings go efficiently. We were just learning about the different types and some of the beings that use them and some of their uses, but there's really no concept on Earth for what that might be. Um, but if we think of one, we'll be happy to share, of course. But that was our lesson for today, or one of our lessons for today. For, there are always side lessons too with all of our lessons because we all have our individual likes and we always will, we like putting the what if into our activities because we get to a point and we say, well, what if we did this to it? And that really helps our learning because other people are expanding with us too, because it's all telepathy. So when one of us is doing something, the other ones can tap into it or they can just do their own thing. It's okay. But yeah, it's all gearing up and it's all going to be such a party. Okay, okay, we've said our piece. Now we will let you say our piece, and then more than likely we will get our pieces to say back.
Brother Francis.
Yes. Do you play with color?
Oh, more colors than you guys are aware of. Yes, because color has their own signature frequency vibrations, and they all have different meanings depending on what reality they are expressed in. And you guys know some of that. You see blues and greens, and they have a kind of calming, and you see jagged, vibrant reds and yellows and oranges, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's loud, which we don't understand that adjective as they do not make any noise at all. But anyway, that is just some of the things that we do with color. Now, that is not really um, it's more of a individual preference thing than it is an actual lesson on things of that nature. Because there are so many variations, and when you insert them into a different reality, then they have different constructs and they have different characteristics and different emanations. They're still the same emanations and frequency outside of that. But of course, everything changes. I mean, you take something, oh, I don't know, say a ball. Or like your car keys, and you put them in 3 foot of water and you look at them and they look different. Sometimes you pull them up and they might look a little closer, but everything changes depending on what environment it's in. And that's a good thing for humans to learn, because you guys have lots of environments on your planet, and you don't always think about how those different environments are going to impact you. But that's okay. It's you guys do pretty good. But people still underestimate nature and their stamina and abilities and things of that nature. But yeah, if they were, well, we're not going to say and wish that they were different. But if they, um, but they have earned their spot and their results. We will say that, and that will help their learning in due time. So, but yeah, but we do view things differently, mostly energetic. Like the little ones, they said that they see laughter as sparkles, human laughter as sparkles. And we thought that was excellent. We really love that description. But we hope that that helps you, although, well, you can't really see our answer for that. But yeah, we do. We know about the colors, but we don't really use them except they as what flows naturally. So if we make a critter from, say, Sirius, then whatever colors, that is going to be naturally part of that being, if that makes sense, because that's our totality of learning. We have many, many ways. Well, we have ways of just assimilating lots of different data points, and they're all correlated together. So that really helps us when we think of something, we think of all the things around it, what it eats, where it sleeps, how it reproduces. Of course, not those are only the ones we know. But yeah, but so when we think of something, its native color that we know it as will be part of those things as we make them, and then we can change them in our own non-physical ways with our thoughts and create them and have fun with them. But yeah, but it's not so much a major part. But that was sure a long answer for a non-answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David.
I have two questions.
Oh,
The
bonus,
first, huh?
bonus day.
The first one, ancient East Indian tradition depicts being with blue skin,
Mm.
like Krishna and other deities they consider. Were those blue ETs that were on the planet? Did they exist here? And my second question is about Sirius. Is there a correlation between the name of Sirius with the country Syria in the Middle East?
Now, you have come across a couple of different hints for humans. And yes, those blue skinned individuals, you will learn more about them. And as you don't know specifics about them yet, we are just going to leave that little mystery for you. And you will learn in due time. It will flow to you because you are interested and you have asked, you have put forth action, and you are open to the answer. But yeah, you can check with other sites and get information on that, but they will be coming. They will be coming. And yes, there are many, many things about your Earth which are have little hints or slight representations of what you now consider galactic beings. For instance, in the not so much in the India area, but in the area where you guys, it more in the Iran area, there were groups of kings that were called Sasani. And then the the star system of the Sasani is called Shaw. And gee, there are leaders called Shaw. Hmm. And there are beings called Sasani. Hmm. I wonder if there's a connection there. It could be serious. But yeah, but that's the Sirius and the Syria connection. That may be a little bit of a stretch. We're not saying that it is, but that doesn't come clear to us. But
Mm.
there are many, many, many such things throughout your civilizations, even the ones that have been gone for a long time in your linear world. But yeah, those that was exciting. But there are many, many times like that where they have had special helpers, we will say, from a variety of places.
Mm.
I mean, just think about it. At one time, humans would interact with Sasquatch and with fairies and other wind spirits, and
Mhm.
they did that on a regular basis as part of their daily routines. We're not saying every day, but if they needed something, that was part of their network. That was part of um their relationship with their environment and with Gaia Argia, as Christina Hanna says. So, but yes, lots of those histories have never been written down or passed down. But yes, there are many, many hints, and humankind's are uncovering them, and more of them are materializing. Some of them are vibrationally activated, we will say. So as you get closer, like the crystal skulls, they're there, but they're there in forms where you cannot find them, except of course for the ones that you found. But then and we have our own skulls. We have our own skulls. And that will help you understand more about us. But we're not going into details on that right now. But yeah, those were good questions. Those were deep in your curiosity. And we hope that we help you. And now you can search out more of them. And then we hope you're not really disappointed that we're just not telling you really what to
I
know.
guess it will come in its time, right?
Absolutely. We are under closed-lipped protection on some things.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a couple of questions as well. Uh,
More bonus.
uh, I'm going to write on some of the questions that have been put on the floor. First one has to do with what's your relationship to the natural environment of the earth, the natural beings of the earth? How have you studied them? In particular, the fauna, the mushrooms. I heard mushrooms around here earlier. The rock people, the animal kingdoms. Tell us a little bit. Give us a view of that.
Well, you have to understand. Well, you don't have to, but it's a choice. But for our role in coming to Earth, one of our major roles is to help human heal your planet. So we are already and the teachers and the watchers too are already in contact with the beings on your planet and the planet itself, which are going to be more instrumental. So, but yeah, but your planet knows what it needs. It just can't get the cooperation that it needs. So we're going to help to steer people in that way. So in that way, we are connecting with those elementals and the planet as a whole and other beings to find out exactly how best they need help and do that. But now it's all on a vibrational frequency basis. We do not interact with those entities, we will say, on a physicalized level at this point. But when we get there, obviously, we have certain abilities ourselves, and more of those are specific to our roles. But we have a general pack of abilities, we will say, that we all share. And that is, and learning the best ways to implement everything is one of them. Now, that is going very well, but there's really only so far that we can get to because the humans aren't ready yet, and we are not sure exactly what parts are going to be most important by the time we get there. We will address them all: the water, the air, the reinstating the critters and flow and energies, and getting distraction, not really distractions, but um, those those things which interfere with the ley lines. There are things which do that too, because they have different frequencies. And then that affects the planet's ability to navigate and to protect herself. So, so that is the way that we are doing it. And of course, we are friends with cetaceans, but and they are teachers for us in ways, but they are connecting with other beings to assist the planet as well. And they've been providing energetic support for quite some time. It's just that it's just escaped humans' notice. It hasn't been important, we guess, because humans were locked in 3D. So it's tough to see 4D and outside the other densities if you are stuck as a physical being. You have hints, you have dreams, you have deja vu, you have all of these things which say, hey, this isn't all. But a lot of people close their mind off. And then we can't come through. Knock, knock. Who's there? Go away. No welcome mat on this brain. Let's move down the line. So we hope that was sufficient answer for both of your questions, unless you have another one.
Well, we have David wanting to step forward with a question.
Oh, didn't get enough, huh? Didn't get enough.
No. Do you have a spaceship we can visit?
Oh, no. I don't. We don't. We are
Okay.
in a spaceship, and maybe one day you will visit, but it is not vibrationally compatible with you.
Not physically.
And even after humanity ascends in ways, um, we'll have to see. And it would be exciting for us. It's not like we don't want you to visit. Come on down. We'll be glad to share and show you everything. But since our ships are not really physical, coming to Earth and having Earthlings visit is just that seems unlikely at this point. But nothing is really impossible.
I
So,
didn't mean physically.
oh, well, yeah. Well, that depends on your personal connections and your soul plan. Now, the channel, he went place, the Pleiadians took him places, the future Pleiadians as he knows them, and they help guide him to another form of consciousness, to another land, another realm. And he had experiences there. And if you want, you can ask them to take you too. But yes, your spirit, it has no bounds other than those you believe in. So you have a very open mind and you are willing. So we will make an effort to connect with you or maybe have teachers do it too, to come to you in the dream state and maybe we can work some of this out. Now, are you going to remember? That
We'll
is
find
tasty.
out.
Yes, but know you can, and know it is possible. And since it has been proposed to us, then in ways people are already, people, but beings are working on that because that is the universe expressing your desires back to you. So hold out hope and keep open and try to connect. Ask for beings which can help make that transition to bridge you there. And then after you get there, then you can practice doing it on your own. And that maybe it has come to our attention that it would be best if you were able to connect with one of the other beings, what we call watchers, which come in a variety of shapes, sizes, colors, and dispositions, and goals, and attributes, whatever else. But if you can ask for one of them to connect with you, they are already on the ship. So when you connect with them, they can judge your readiness and then you can work with them to make that visit.
Thank you.
That is what we were told. So that the rest is up to you, and we'll look forward to visiting with you, David Three Question Asker.
Thank you.
Now we know too. Now we know too. Sign up for your being. Come and visit. Sign up for your being. Come and visit.
Christiana.
Thank you. Hello. Um, you mentioned earlier the energies of the earth. Yeah, in Greek or ye. But I was wondering, a couple of years ago, Bashar had mentioned that people would be taken due to circumstances to where they came from. And due to very, very strange synchronicities, it happened to me as well. And I was wondering, are you able to perceive how a person's energy affects Earth?
Well, we believe that you already know the answer to this. Because any loving expression helps. And it helps more than you probably know because it ripples out. It raises the levels of others and makes other things more possible for them, which are beneficial. So, yes, raising your vibration raises the vibration of the universe. Your planet is in the universe. So every time you laugh, every time you have an expression of love, you bring not only the planet and open contact and humans and extraterrestrials together, but you help draw the universe closer into loving oneness. Now, we don't expect for you to jump for joy and saying, oh, look, I benefited the universe because I created a smile in somebody. But it does. But it's an overall effect because not that it's not important, because they all are. It's just, small numbers. And on your planet, all these little bitty grains of sand make up big beaches. And think of it kind of like that. But yeah, we hope that addressed your question adequately.
Yes, thank you. That was also a very nice analogy.
So yeah, keep doing your good work, because the more vibrations that you guys put out, the more vibrations that the earth gets in, and the higher up it goes. It's climbing. It's climbing. It's always climbing. Oh, yeah, there are cycles and it's cycling up. Oh, we wish you guys could see it because then you would be more excited about what's coming or feel it.
So one way of us humans knowing a little bit about how the Earth is changing vibration, given our human interaction overall with it, would that be, let's say, through the Schumann frequencies that we measure?
Well, the Schumann frequencies is a different line of questioning, we will say. But you are already aware of some of those vibrational frequency changes. All of you. You all know. You say, things are accelerating, things are happening faster. Well, what do you think's bringing that on? You're like, oh my gosh, I can connect with more beings now. Well, what do you think brought that on? It's the raising of the vibrations. It's getting that your peepers up over the edge so you can see what's beyond it. And then other beings can see you too. And then they can come and visit. They're like, oh, look, our neighbors are here now across the fence. Let's go say hi and bring the welcome wagon. So there are the Schumann resonance is a good barometric in some ways, but only in some ways. The vibrational um, frequency vibration or the ranges which are consistently going up though, you are feeling them. You just might not interpret them as, oh, that I felt that the earth has got just notched up a notch. It's better now. But that is one of the things that's happening. When you get all of these entities who are contacting you and knocking on your door because they didn't know you were there and they couldn't find you before, more and more and more are happening. So, so yeah, that's exciting in ways. And the Schumann resonance is more of a 3D reality type of thing in the way humans interpret it. Not that it doesn't have beings of its own, and not that beings don't play with and communicate with and ride the Schumann resonances. But but yeah, that's our take on your question.
So, out of the interactions that we have had so far in the channelings of the hybrids, the events that we have had, the folks that have come in, are you gathering the kinds of understandings and information that you need from us? And, and how can we better attune to provide more of what is appropriate for you?
Well, we know you already know the answer to the last part because we have addressed that a couple times already. Authenticity and vibration. It's all about vibration. It's all about vibration. But we kind of skipped over that first part. Can you rephrase that or tell us again?
Are you getting from these
Oh,
interactions that which you find very useful
well,
to you?
you know, us personally is just about the play and enjoying and acceptance. But that is our role. But it is the teachers and the watchers who are getting lots from these interactions. They're helping to gauge not only the readiness of specific individuals and groups, but humanity as a whole, because this is one of 100,000 groups. They're popping up everywhere because channelers are popping up everywhere now. It's part of the plan. And and it's part of the vibration raising too. So while we are learning things more about humans as a whole, the individual things we just kind of accept and remember to help build our relationship because that's important to humans. Humans like when people remember that, oh, how was your trip? Or, oh, How do you like that new thing that you bought? Are you satisfied with it? They like it when people are engaging with them and they show that they have paid attention and they care enough to ask. All of those are loving expressions. So we are on all of them. But as far as learning about individuals, not so much, because in some ways that's more of a deferred learning, because we have a lot of learning about those relationship building, because we haven't had that yet. We aren't even fully physicalized yet. So we're going to change. And there's the relationships that we're building now will help, and they help us with the interactions. But it's not like we're speaking English. It's not like, we're physically compatible yet. But it's coming. It's coming. And when it does, we will be ready. And when you are ready, we will be ready and there.
I'm very glad that the teachers and the caretakers are getting quite a bit out of it.
We are too, because they're important. They're very important.
Does anybody else has any questions or commentary?
Some of the things which kind of perplex us are the associations you have with certain holidays. And they mostly involve foods that are not good for you. So we find that kind of odd. Hey, yes. Oh, look what day it is. Let's put this special treat in us that we don't normally get, even though it's not good for us. We'll do it for the holidays. It's a holiday, so let's suspend some beliefs and we'll just go off and do things we don't normally do. We like that part. But we really don't understand a lot of the associations with things which are not beneficial. So we kind of just threw that in there. Candy canes. Yeah, that you'd be better off just getting a hook. It's more practical that way. And you can use it over and over.
Thank you for that reminder. We're overjoyed, and we would love for you to give us another little infusion of your joy.
Oh, well, too bad we didn't coordinate this so we could all sing, even some humming, but that would be fine. That's our desire, is to sing with you all, have a little round table. And maybe we could do it. We could do like row, row, row your boat. But but yeah, it's a lot easier to move your boat with mind power and telekinesis. But that's not part of the song. So it would find it might be kind of funny. Telekinesis your boat. That doesn't really rhyme. It's not really snappy like row, row, row. But but that's pretty much all. But we want to encourage you guys to find new ways to play. New ways to play. And not necessarily a game, but just something that amuses you. I mean, like in a way, Sudoku is games. And it sets your mind at ease and it focuses in some ways, and lots of stuff goes on in the background when you do that. It's when you zone out like that. That's what we kind of, whether it's bouncing a ball against a wall or dribbling it, or maybe, just fidget toys or whatever. But find something new to play with, or maybe play new with something that you already have, or do things that you used to enjoy. When you were a kid, bring some of that kid energy back into you to play. And make paper airplanes or shoot rubber bands at each other or play tag. I mean, you guys don't get enough exercise for the most part anyway, nothing personal. But yeah, but those running games, those physical games, you guys should do those more often. But that's our little tidbit. And it's not news to any of you, but it's more of a reminder. And maybe it'll stick. If it does, good for you. Bully for, as they say on the English side. So we have used up our time, and you have used up your questions, and we have lots more time, and you have lots more questions. But we will just put it off for another day. And thank you for being a beautiful audience. And thank you for vibing up and helping us and connecting with us. And try to connect with us. We need more of you to try to connect with us in a more direct fashion. Now, it may not come through in speaking, but you can still connect with us. We are willing, and you are able, and you know it can happen, and you believe. So work on that. Work on that, please. There you go. An extra little homework tidbit for all of you.
Thank you for the appearance, the energy, and the homework. And be with us all the time in our hearts. Be there.
We won't leave you. We won't let you down.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll go now. We are going to sing our way. We wish our channeler had better whistling skills. We want to practice. And we can't really do that now, but we will. They were making fun of me in a loving way.
Well, that's part of the fun, isn't it? Part of the joy, you know? That's the whole idea. Make fun, find joy in everything.
Maybe I'll have to ask the Pleiadians or some other entity to work on my abilities to whistle.
Yeah. It's a useful skill nowadays. Whistling.
Oh, and they were serious about more play. They were serious. That word's coming up a lot tonight.
Well, that's very important, actually.
Oh,
I feel we got to get lighter, much lighter.
oh,
It's an open chat at this moment here for the next 5 to 10 minutes. So anybody that wants to make any kind of comment is welcome too. You feeling good, Ray?
yeah. I've had pretty much low energy all day. I'm 7,000 feet. I'm at 7,700 feet elevation, so I came up 5,700 feet in one day. So, my body was it's pulling back. It's like, hey, but obviously I got hyped up for this and I'm hyped right now, their energy. And they were serious about never leaving us. They meant in metaphysical and literal terms. Oh, fun.
Well, I'd like to say that this is has been a very, very interesting beginning months being with all of you. And it definitely brings out more joy, even through some down moments when I go through a lot of down moments, in the human form. Then I find myself laughing at the problem, like you knew that you created this problem, so why are you taking it so serious? Why don't you just laugh? And that will make room for new things. And that's what has happened. I start laughing instead of crying about the problem. I laugh about the problem. And then new resolutions pop up. I said, look at that. Because I started laughing at it, new remedies popped in like in 24 hours. And I said, okay, I'm on my way back up the scale of handling some things. So I find this to be quite interesting. I've been telling a lot of people who I think might be open, but I'll let them, ask me if they're really open. Because I also think it's all new. It's
Mhm.
relatively new, and um, many people, and I know I've had my quote unquote programs. So you got to push those programs away in order to really take it in properly. So I'm learning a lot here.
Good points, and thank you. Yeah, and amping up just it brings so much more information to us. Like you said, you laugh at it and all of a sudden, hey, my brain says, "Oh, look at all this. Look what I found." Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And think about it, the majority of people, I'm not sure what the percentage is, but I would bet it's 70% or higher, do not even believe that extraterrestrials exist.
Right.
So, how are they going to wrap their mind around an extraterrestrial human hybrid?
Of course. And
So,
even the people that have seen some evidence of UFO activity,
mhm,
but a majority of them are still discounting it for whatever the storyline has been that obscures the facts.
Mhm.
And it's still detached. They're detached from it. Uh, and partially because life requires survival. And, everybody, a good chunk of the population is in that struggle, basically.
Right, but things are also changing. Do you know about the hundreds monkey effect?
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So the vibration is rising, people are changing, and at some point it's gonna click, whether you believe or not. It's gonna be like suddenly you start seeing the color that you did not see before. You know, I think it's coming very
Well,
quickly.
the power of joy and laughter, if it touches you a little bit, can bring you to the remembrance of you were, at an early stage of life in which you were a lot lighter and not so burdened with the seriousness that you attach to your regular daily life.
Mhm.
And so there are many different angles that this energy of the hybrid children take to open people. It's really is an opening of the heart, and I can't think of any better way than doing that through joy, laughter, play. Even if at the beginning a lot
Music.
of people find it difficult to enter into that space because a lot of people are resisting going into that space because they're adults and they got big issues they got to take care, that sort of thing.
yeah,
It's
well,
still
they have it at home tonight. I mean, out of all of the changes, saying the biggest change was in the heart.
it's in the
Mhm.
heart. Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah, free energy, that's not bigger than the changes of the
Right.
heart.
And if
You
if you if you think about it, there's been a lot of channels and guides throughout the ages, the teachings of the Buddha and so forth, among others. And the general thing has been love and open your heart. But a lot of people need a very practical way of doing that because, they don't know how to do it, childlike ways, joyful like ways, laughter like ways. And
Singing.
it makes a little opening that becomes, at least for a short period of time, it's a big opening. And if you start paying attention and allowing it to come more, and what is it that got you there and what can maintain you there, the door really opens wide.
Yeah.
Yep. And, they were kind of surprised that Luis asked about how do we know that the earth vibration is raising? Because they were thinking like, well, he already knows four different things about that have changed in the past, just this year or
Well,
so.
yeah, I was really asking the question from the perspective of how do I show other people that are completely unaware of those things
Mhm.
Mhm.
that there is actual instruments that are measuring very different things they used to measure. Okay. So that
Yep.
happens to be one of them. And yes, and it is a very narrow, limited way. See, most people don't understand that the Schumann resonance really has to do with the collective energy of humans
Mhm.
on the planet.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean it encompasses all the energies. It's just a little, range.
Well, and humans have more work to do because we have depleted a lot of the consciousness from the planet. So when we had, an extra 50,000 species, which we no longer have, then the entire earth vibrated at a higher collective level. Now, individual humans and groups might not buy into that, but if you look at the indigenous, they were all high vibrational, functional. And because they were respected and they were united with all of those energies, that's what we're trying to get back to.
But there's something interesting. I just saw a few days ago that have discovered and they continue to discover new species, but they discovered the most interesting species. It looks like half of it looks like a grasshopper, and the other half looks like a butterfly. Now, this is in Australia, and they say, well, we discover a new species that we've never seen. I say that we are actually, because of the increase of vibrations that humanity is beginning to experience, that we're actually inviting new beings into our presence.
I can see that.
That's what I say. Okay. Now, I'm not going to convince the masses of that or anything like that, but I think those are very beautiful markers for anybody that has this level of awareness that we have to get validated more and more that things are really happening.
And David, one more thing on your question about Syria and Sirius.
Uh-huh.
When that area was more Lemuria, there's two Lemurias, they're spelled slightly different, but that land was not known as Syria during that time.
Mm.
So those stories get passed down. And so somebody might have said, hey, this would be a great name to honor this energy or whatever it might be. I don't know. And they didn't know. But but in their frame of reference, they were like, well, we can see how you can get that, but that's really not the way it works. It's like when you see two things and you think they're together because of the distance, and then when you move off to the side, you're like, oh, well, they're not right next to each other. This one's like 10 feet behind the other one. So that perspective is that's what I got out of it. That's what I saw.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it at this stage of the game, and Syria used to be Babylonia. It's part of Babylonia once upon a time. And then for a while, in the times of the Macedonians and
yes, Mesopotamia.
That was Mesopotamia. Of course, it was also Mesopotamia, but in those times, it was part of the Persian Empire that extended all the way to Greece, almost got close. And you have wars and all kinds of things that go with that. Anyway, so that whole part of the world has experienced a lot of different things. Now, anybody that has visited those areas, Turkey and so forth, will see in temples this big tall beings. This is particularly true of the Persepolis. And the Persepolis, what remains of it, which is not that much, but some of the things that remain there are these huge beings. Okay. And I call those beings Syrian, personally. Okay. These beings walk the earth. Okay. These are beings that existed 3,000 years before Christ.
Aren't they the one you call the Anunnaki?
They may be related to Anunnaki, but maybe, they actually worship those guys. They were in the columns of the biggest temples that they had in the Persepolis, basically. And therefore, some of them survived this day. What survived this day? There's a lot of lion-looking things. There's some of that. And there's a few columns that survive. And then there's these guys. They still are there. And there's a couple of them that are there in their entirety. Why? Because they were massive. They're 15, 20 feet tall. And I say they weren't really exaggerating it. Okay. Basically. So if you go back in a long time ago, these are the areas of the world where there was the most advanced civilizations. You know, Mesopotamia, keep on going, Babylon, you know, I mean, keep on going, you know, in those areas. So if you were an ET making your little rounds around the world, that would be one of the areas that you'd be making stops. The other area would be, let's say, the American Southwest with the pre-Anastasi, even before the Anastasi. The Anastasi, we don't know much about it because, you know, the only thing we know are the pueblos that came after that. We know something about them, but there were things that were there even before, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
The stories of the Sky people in New Mexico, you know, they live in a plateau and they have their stories, you know, have this timeline of being with star beings from the beginning. You know, they walk among them. That's how they speak of it. The evidence of anybody that sees Chaco Canyon. Oh, by the way, there is a place in Nevada that is even more amazing than Chaco Canyon from the perspective of what's in the rocks. Okay, the beings that are in the rocks. That again tells me, you know, you want to know a little bit about some of that. Graham Hancock, a British guy, has written a lot of books. Has a book about lost civilizations. He's constantly interested in that around the world. Well, he's got one that, you know, goes into those parts of the U.S. And he's very clear that there were very advanced civilizations that precede anything that we know. Okay, and those are the areas of the world in which the original ET contacts that could be in some way connected to us, they existed. I'm not going to say they began there, but because we have been monitored for a long time, if you use time as your marker.
And you know, I have heard that the Anunnaki had the blue tent, and obviously we know that they were around in Egypt, and they created the first religion by requesting that humans honor them. And Bashar said that's how religion started, because there was no religion until the Anunnaki decided that they needed to be worshipped.
See, these beings were at the entry to major structures in the Pacific. Basically, they were like guards. You know.
And the hybrid children talked about their skulls.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Interesting.
Anyway, you know, with that, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to, and the skulls are informational that will help get their message out to areas where there may not be a physical or hybrid child presence. That's freaking amazing. Golly, I'm so hyped on it. And oh my gosh.
Okay, do we want to take a few minutes before we enter into the second session that we have?
I have so many beings coming in right now.
So let's take a 5-6 minute break, and we'll be back for Brother Francis.
Cool. Thank you, Luis, and everyone else.
Yeah.
For making all this possible. I'll be back.
I'll be back.